Hey guys, welcome back. Another vlog for Nutshell on my 2020 Rebel 300. If you just saw my previous video on the oil change, while I was doing that oil change, I received a box. And this box should have in it my Viking saddle bags that I've been waiting for. So I'm going to open the box, take one out and take a look at it. This will mean I'm going to have to remove my current setup here and get rid of these old things and then put on the new, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'll let you know how they look. Thanks. So take a look. I just opened the box and you can see it is well put together. I love the packaging here. Very well done, Viking. And let's see, do I get a... Oh, look at those babies. They look really nice. All right, so let's start pulling these out and take a look at how they might look up against the bike. So here's the bag. It's a little bit different than what I was expecting. So it's really well made. It's heavy. Heavier than I was expecting, but this is what I was not expecting. It's set up for a throw over style and something that was not on the list. Here's the great thing. I'm going to set this up here. Hopefully you guys can still see what's going on. The Velcro's really tough. It's got a lock, which I love. This is what I really wanted to know. Will this thing hold my laptop? Look at this. Boom! It fits. So, yes, I am not going to just leave my laptop in there like that. I will put some towels or something and give it some cushion, but I can now use this as my commuter instead of a backpack that I've been wearing. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming I can just unscrew these. This must be something new because it wasn't on their website or any of the other videos I've seen. But take these screws out and get them mounted straight to, or maybe I'll take a look to see what I can do. I have to look at the other mounting pieces to make sure I get everything. Check out everything before you start trying to put it together, because if it's not right, you can ship it back to them. Once you start doing stuff, you can't ship it back. So take a look at what you got first.
Much later.
And we're back!
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's a continuation of my Viking saddle bag install on a Rebel 300. 2020 is the year. So I've got the one bag out, the main one, and I'm calling it the main one because it's the one that sits over the exhaust and over the brake caliper, because those are the two areas of the most concern when you're installing these saddlebags. So they tell you to get a helper, but let's say you don't have a helper, or your helper is doing work and you are just an impatient person like me. So I don't want to wait. Got the bags yesterday, and I already knew that the hardware kit that you get contains lots of hardware. Lots and lots of good stuff. They got spacers, they've got nuts, they've got washers, all kind of spacers here. So the washers I'm going to use, the spacers I'm going to use. This is the actual bolts I'm going to use. This is what you use to attach your bag to and to the bike. And then the crossbars to help keep things aligned. I think that's used mostly for the throw over style. So when I got the bags, it did have the throw over flap attached to the bag, but I didn't want a throw over kind. I want one that I'm going to attach to the bike. So you got to take that off. There's only 2 wing nuts you pull. You can unscrew it by hand. Take that part off. And then what you need to do, or at least this is what I did, is to put your saddlebag up. And this is why they wanted you to get a helper, was to have them hold this thing while you get it aligned. Because what you're going to need to do is to mark on the back of the bags where you want these screws to go, and you have to drill some holes for this. So the 2 holes that are there are from the throw over bag. Okay, so you can see this front hole is going to be very close to the front of the bag, and the back hole is going to be fine. Now I could probably slide this up a little bit more. In fact, I think I will. But not much. This came with the cutouts. That's the style that I got, or the cutout saddlebag. This is a medium-sized saddlebag. So that's what it has. So I just used a towel, and I wrapped the towel. They suggest that you put the bag at least 1 inch up. Now I don't think that that's 1 inch, but I'm going to tell you it's probably a little close. It might be able to go up a little bit higher. And I'm using a level to make sure that the bag is level. And then once you get it in place, you can drill the holes, and then you can mark the other bag, and they should have the same holes on the other side. And that's what they suggest that you do. So I'm going to re-look before I mark it. So once you've got it all set, you grab a marker and you just go mark on the bag where you want to drill your holes, and then we attach it. Now I'm going to show you that in the next clip. I'm going to cut it right now because I want to make sure that the bag is where I want. I might be able to move it forward just a tad. Anyway, talk to you in a bit. So just an update as to what I've done here. I'm still using the level to level out to make sure I like it. I think I like the looks. And believe it or not, the box that they sent, which you can see right here, the box that they sent to hold all the hardware is 1 inch. Now I just have the stock muffler on here. If you don't have the stock muffler, yes, you will need to work it out with whatever you got. If it's a Vance and Hines or Shorty or something like that. Shorty, you probably won't have a problem. It's not going to be in the way. But you will need someone or something to hold it for you. But for me, on the stock muffler, I just took that 1 inch box, set it underneath. You got a little bit of a lip here, you know, so I think this is going to look good. It's squared. It's got a nice flat. It's right on the shock. I mean, it's not on it. There's enough gap here. It's got a cutout. The only concern is the brake caliber, which I mentioned before. So I've marked the back. So I went ahead and marked it. Everything looked good. And now I just drill a couple holes and check out where I need to put the other 2 holes for the bottom mount. And then we're good to go. Transfer those holes over to the other bag. And lock and loaded. That should be it. I'll get back to you. Thanks.
Minutes later.
So another note before you even get started, the Rebel 300, I think the 500 too, requires a metric bolt. And the metric size that it uses is an M8-125 by 70 millimeter. That's what I got here. That's what's required. The ones they send you are SAE bolts. They will not work unless you go and retap the nut that's holding this up. I'm not going to do that. I just went out to the hardware store. I I really wanted the 80s, but they have the 70s, so I'm going to make the 70s work. I hope. They didn't have 80s. You'd have to order those online. So I'm going to go with the 70s. Do that before you even get started. You don't want to start pulling things out and then realize these bolts that they send you will not work. You can try to start it, but then it's going to stop. It's not going to be able to fully sync up. So just something to note. Make sure you get those bolts before you start, and make sure you do everything cleanly. You can see here's my marks that I marked around the nuts that I just adjusted. Now I'm just going to need to drill a couple holes here and then measure out. Take one of these guys, and then the big end, the tall end goes up top, shorty end goes down here. Note also when you're on this right hand side where you have the brake calipers, you're going to have to swing this like this. You can't set it down like that because it's going to be in the way. So you're going to have to tilt this one a little bit this way. This one will fit straight down if you want, but I suggest you might move it out a little bit to match the rest of the bike. So anyway, that's something to look at, and we'll get that set up and we'll get going. So I've got my drill, a 5/16 drill bit. If you're unsure, you can always take the bolt that you're putting in, measure it against the drill bit that you're using, make sure it goes through the hole, all that good stuff, and that's it. And we just simply drill. And the other one. This is the point of no return, by the way. And that's it. And then we're going to measure this out. We'll measure out where we want the other ones to go. Mark it. Drill some more holes. And then we take the other bag and do the same and just mimic it over there. That's it. And then you just tighten it all up. We'll see how it looks in a bit. All right. So I got the first one on. I think it looks pretty good. The gap is maybe just a tad bit more than I really needed, but I think it looks good. Plenty of clearance, good clearance here, more clearance over the brake caliper than I was expecting. I don't think it's too tall. I don't think I set it up too high. I think it looks good. So just a note, when you go to install the brackets, do the bottom brackets first. And if you put the bottom brackets in, that will help to keep this steady so you can put the top parts in as well. So put the bottom parts on first, tighten them down a little bit. You don't have to go all the way. But enough to make it steady. Yes, use the crossbar. The little hump that I went over makes it a little of a challenge, but you can do it. So I used one of the fat spacers with a 70mm bolt. Like I said, they have longer ones, but I don't think I needed more than that on this. The brake caliper is plenty of space away. It's not even close to touching it. So I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll get pictures of that, and then we'll be done. I think I'll pull it outside so you can see it in the sun. Cheers. So hey guys, here they are. These are the medium-sized Viking bags with the cutouts. They were supposed to be specifically for the Rebel 300, and I think they look pretty good. They're large, but not too large, and something you can fit things in, something you can lock, which to me was very important. I just think they look fabulous. They're nice and hard. They should weather up really nicely. I'm looking forward to using these as my new Daily Commuter. Cheers and thanks for watching.